UFC 313's main and co-main events just got announced as official, as the main event being Alex Periera taking on Magomed Ankalaev, and the co-main event being Dan Hooker taking on Justin Gaethje in a 5-round co-main event. And dude, I think that this is the absolute best case scenario for UFC fans. I mean, this is the best co-main and main event that I think the UFC could have put on right now. All right, Magomed Ankalaev and Alex Periera had to get announced. That fight has to happen already. Okay, the UFC they were delaying Magomed's title shot for way too long. Now we're finally going to get an actual test for Periera at 205. I'm very excited to see that. And then obviously, if you guys don't know yet, Dan Hooker's my favorite fighter in the UFC, and now he's coming back to take on Justin Gaethje. I'm so excited for that one. I love Dan Hooker, and Justin Gaethje puts on some absolute bangers. And yeah, dude, I'm so excited for these fights. As we already know, the main event for UFC 313 is Magomed Ankalaev taking on Alex Periera, and I think that this fight is a true 50-50 test for Alex if Magomed Ankalaev decides to wrestle with him. Magomed has been tweeting and saying, and other people like Yuri are saying that Magomed Ankalaev told him that he's going to be striking with Alex Periera and he's going to keep the fight on the feet. If he does that, I do think he will lose 100%, no doubt about it. But if he decides to wrestle Alex Periera and he does shoot a lot of takedowns, I still think that he's going to lose. I just think that he's going to draw out his defeat a little bit longer. If Magomed Ankalaev keeps this fight on the feet against Alex Periera, I think he's going to lose in the first or maybe the second round due to KO. But if he decides to try to wrestle Alex Periera and wrestle him and shoot a bunch of takedowns and just stall and stall and stall and not give Alex a chance on the feet in the first couple rounds, I think that he's going to get knocked out in the 4th or 5th. Okay, but in the end, I still think Magomed Ankalaev's getting KO'd, and at the very least, he ain't beating Alex Periera. So give me Alex Periera by a KO, and I'm going to go with a 3rd or 4th round KO. I hope Magomed Ankalaev decides to wrestle because I don't want to see another striker just blindly walk at Alex Periera and just get KO'd. Okay, I want to see somebody actually shoot takedowns and give him a tough test. So I really hope Magomed Ankalaev does that. So give me Alex Periera by a 4th round KO. In an absolute dogfight in our co-main event for UFC 313, we have Dan Hooker taking on Justin Gaethje in a 5-rounder. Okay, and I think that this fight's going to be absolutely amazing. All right, it's going to be a war. These guys are going to go at it. There's no way either of these dudes are going to be taking a step back. But there's only one thing that scares me. Is Justin Gaethje's chin still going to be that same Justin Gaethje chin after taking that kind of damage against Max Holloway? All right, he did take a serious amount of damage against Max Holloway, and he's got Dan Hooker in front of him, and Dan Hooker's looking for the kill. All right, Dan Hooker is known for taking people into the deepest waters and having some of the hardest wars in the lightweight division in the entire UFC. All right, his fights with Mateusz Gamrot, Jalen Turner, and Dustin Poirier were absolutely incredible, and I'm sure that he's going to be looking for another one of those fights against Justin Gaethje in a 5-rounder. I mean, this fight's going to be an absolute dogfight, and Justin Gaethje's chin, I don't think it's going to be the same after taking that kind of damage to Max Holloway. I think Dan Hooker's going to be able to out-grit Justin Gaethje. I know that's crazy to say, right? Dan Hooker out-gritting Justin Gaethje in 2025. It's crazy, right? A couple years ago, we were saying Dan Hooker has no future, right? And he should be cut from the UFC. Getting KO'd by Michael Chandler, losing like 3 out of his last 4 fights. I mean, I thought he was done after taking all that damage in the Dustin Poirier fight, but now he's having an insane career resurgence. So I think Dan Hooker's going to be able to beat Justin Gaethje and get his way to the top of the lightweight division. So I am going to be taking Dan Hooker in a 48-47, razor close, absolute war of a decision.